Hello, I'm actually future Jonathan. Before we actually get into the video, this is probably going to confuse you. But I did my typical unboxing with a voiceover thing, or I was going to do the voiceover. But when I went to go do the voiceover, I found out that the footage was completely blown out. I think the white balance setting on my camera got messed up or something. I could not use that footage at all. You couldn't really see anything because it was so blown out. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to give you just a quick overview of what you get in the box. So that's kind of like a unboxing, if you will. But if you want to skip to just the rest of the video, I'll leave a timestamp down there. That's a good place for you to start, and you can do that. So I apologize. First off, this video is sponsored by Movo. Thank you, Movo, for doing that. In the box, came packaged very well. Everything arrived safely. You get the UM6 microphone here. I'm using a little stand that I had. You do not get a little stand in there, but it comes with its own little thing to use it as like on a boom arm or something. You get some promotional materials. So you get like some stickers. You get an instruction manual, which I highly suggest reading that. You get two USB-C cables. You get a USB-C to USB-C cable, which I'm currently using now to record this. And we'll talk about more of that in a little bit. And then a standard USB-C cable. They're both pretty long, so you should be good to go. And then a nice little touch that I think here is, I've already used it, but it comes bundled nicer than this, an XLR cable, which is really cool because this microphone can support both XLR and USB-C. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's also got a headphone jack on the back here. So if you want to put some headphones on, or if you're in the middle of a podcast or whatever the case is. But that's basically a quick unboxing of that. Let's go ahead and jump into the rest of the regular video. So once again, a big thank you to Movo for sending out the UM6. I greatly appreciate it. Please make sure you check those links down there in the description. That helps out the channel. That helps out Movo, and Movo is a great company. Also, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I would greatly appreciate that. So let's go ahead and talk about this UM6 a little bit more. So this is being branded as a podcast mic, which when you look at it straight out of the box, you have, the little knob here that you can turn that moves it up and down on like an axis or whatever. And then the way that it is just here, I've got it on just like a little stand on the table. But if you have one of those boom arms, the ones that they're always adjusting when you're watching a podcast, I have one of those. I've not tried it yet, but this is perfect for that. It's absolutely perfect for that. So straight out of the box, being advertised as a podcast microphone is the right way to go. Secondly, what you're hearing right now is me recording this directly into my phone. So with the USB-C to USB-C cable, you can plug it into a phone, a tablet. If you have the Movo Phantom interface, it's got a USB-C port on it you can plug in and record to. You can do that as well. You have to have the USB-C plugged in either with the standard USB-C cable or how I have it now to gain access to the onboard preamp, which gives you 25 dB of gain boost. You have some high frequency boosts and stuff like that in there, which we'll talk on that in just a second. You have a mute button up here, and then you have a headphone and microphone gain selector thing, which again, I'm going to go through this in just a second here just to make sure that we're getting all the correct information to you guys. So, like I said, in order to gain access to that, you have to be powered with the USB-C cable. Now, if you're using it with the XLR cable into like an interface or something, you do not have to have the USB-C cable plugged in. So you don't have to have a million cables going from the mic to power the microphone just to get that access to the onboard preamp. So just a little side note there, and we will be testing it with the XLR cable, the included XLR cable here in just a second. But if you want to skip to that, I'll leave a timestamp down there in the description or maybe on screen or something like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through the instruction manual here just to make sure we're doing all that. And I'm going to keep talking as much as I can because this is a microphone demo. So that's what we're going to do. And also, this is a music channel primarily, but microphones are obviously always a welcome addition here. So maybe in the future, I want to put this mic to the test, maybe miking up an acoustic guitar or like a guitar amplifier, but I want to explore its capabilities first, kind of with voice and vocal and all that kind of stuff before I jump into all of that. So going here, so you have this LED light bar. Okay, you may or may not be able to see it based on how my light is sitting, but as I'm talking, a little white light is kind of pulsing, and that's just showing, like, in a DAW or something where you see the meter going up and down. That's showing you that, your voice is whatever, registering or whatever, your levels. That's the word I was looking for. But now that we have it plugged into the USB-C, we have access to the onboard preamp. And if I wanted to, I can turn this up and down. Now, if you hit the power or the plus button, you may see it turn green and you may hear my voice. It may be clipping. So I'm going to try to talk a little quieter. I turned it up. So I've engaged that extra dB of boost. So I'm going to go over here and turn it down back to where I was. In fact, I'm going to turn it down quite a bit. So this may be pretty quiet as you're hearing this now. So I think I had it up like 2, like 2 little taps from dead zero. If not, close enough. I don't want to blow out the microphone and the gain and all that kind of stuff. So that's how you do that. That's really cool. So if you're further away or you need to have that extra gain, it is available to you if you are plugged in via USB-C. You have some EQ modes in here. This is what I talked about earlier. You have a high pass filter, a high frequency boost, and then you can engage both of them at the same time in order to get like a blend of that and whatever fits your voice best. Right now it is off, so what you're hearing is the flat setting, which you kind of want to start with before you start fiddling around with that kind of stuff. But with a high pass filter, that's the one, if you're looking down directly at the mic, it's the one on the left. So my left, your right. So we're going to press the button here. That engages the high pass filter, which is what you're hearing right now. I don't have a very deep voice, so it may or may not be doing anything with that. I'm not entirely sure, but it takes out the low end rumble. So if you have a deeper voice or somebody on your podcast with a deeper voice, you want to make sure that high pass filter is engaged. Now you have a high frequency boost, which if you tap it again, if I can get my finger on the right spot here, there we go. Sometimes you have to tap it a couple times. It says the clarity and fullness of sound are emphasized. So you're kind of going to the other end there. You're boosting the higher frequencies. Pretty self-explanatory. But again, if you tap it again, now we have both of them engaged. Whether you can hear a difference or not, I don't know, because YouTube is going to compress the audio anyway. But when you have both of them, it says the definition of sound is greatly improved. So depending on, again, who's using the mic at the time, that may be something you want to explore. But we're going to turn it back to flat here. So there we go. We're back to flat setting. And we'll kind of keep going up the list here, as it were. So you have right here where you have the headphone/microphone button. It's not a button. It's like a touchscreen. That's your headphone volume / mic gain selector. So that's what I was talking about earlier. It says tap to select the headphone controls, which you'll get a blue LED, and the microphone gain controls, which is a green LED. I don't have headphones on, so I'm just going to kind of skip over that, and you wouldn't be able to hear it anyway if I did. So, and then up here you have the mic mute and the surface lock button. So you have 2 built into one there. For the mic mute, that will mute the mic, which hold it down for 2 seconds, it will mute the mic. Now the surface lock function, if you hold it down for 5 seconds, it will basically disengage your ability to use any of the other things. It will lock the surface, right? You won't be able to press any of the other buttons, which is good if you are like, moving the mic around with your full hand, or you need to grab it, or you just want to engage it while you're in the middle of the podcast so you don't accidentally turn off a filter or something like that. So if you wanted to go like that, hold it down, you should see the little red light come up here if I can press my finger down in the right spot. There we go. So now if I were to go over here and try to adjust the volume, all that kind of stuff, it's not going to do it. So I can grab this mic all day long, hold it like that, and it's fine. If you want to disengage it, just hold it down for another 5 seconds like that, and the little red LED should go off, so then you have full access to the controls on the front of your microphone. And really, guys, that's it for the controls for the built-in preamp. And again, you've been hearing this all through USB-C audio. So let's go ahead and jump over to my interface and see what it sounds like when we plug it into an interface using the XLR cable, powering it with phantom power. So first things first, before we get into the XLR samples and all that kind of stuff, right now you're hearing my voice through camera audio, and that's for a few things. First off, it's just to show you how necessary it is to have good audio for your videos. So getting a high quality microphone will help with that. Second off, this is not even plugged in right now, because I have a couple of things that I need to tell you about before you start to use this via an XLR cable. Now, with that other USB-C cable that you get, the one that's like a standard USB-C cable, not the double-ended, that's for if you want to use the built-in preamp. So, for example, I have this power supply here that I can plug it in and use it if I need to. That gives you access to what we had before I showed you, the filters and the 25 dB of gain, all that kind of stuff. But as long as you have an interface that has phantom power, you can use this microphone, and I'll show you. Now, I have the XLR cable plugged into my interface, but I do not have it plugged into my mic. Before you plug in or unplug any microphone that requires phantom power, make sure the phantom power is off. If you do not do that, if the phantom power is on when you go to plug it in or unplug it, you can ruin your microphone. It's as simple as that. And this is a pretty pricey microphone, so you don't want to do that. So the phantom power is off, and as you can see, there's not been any activity back here. That's why I got that going. So we're just going to plug this in. Okay, still nothing. So it is plugged in. We're going to engage the phantom power now that it is safe to do so. And you can probably start to see some activity going on back here in my interface. Right? So there you go. Now, again, you have onboard gain that you can do here. So I can turn up the gain, make it a little louder. I can turn it down and kind of be quiet. So you want to mess with that. You don't, like I said, you don't have to have it powered on via the USB-C, right? And you probably will notice too, if I've knocked the cable here, you know, it's going to pick it up. So this is a fairly sensitive microphone. So I would think that like grabbing it, moving it around, yeah, it's not going to be as loud. So if you're grabbing it on like a boom arm or something and you're using it for a podcast, it shouldn't be, you know, anything, you know, noisy or whatever too much like that. Now I do have in the background my studio monitors up slightly just to kind of monitor it and hear what it sounds like. If I turn them up a little bit, this is not me turning up the gain. This is me turning up my speakers themselves. And right now I'm very impressed with how far away I am. I'll turn them down now so you're not getting the echo in the background. I'm very impressed with like how far away I am from the mic, and I don't have to be right up on the microphone like that. You know, I have another microphone that I've used before where I feel like I have to be like right here, and I really like this. So I think that this is going to be a great choice for me personally to use it on, you know, other videos where I'm not so close up. And I can kind of have it more out of the frame, which was part of the reason that I bought the shotgun mic. But there's that. So like I said, I'm going to turn this gain down. It looks like it might be peaking a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it might be peaking back there a little bit, so I apologize. But you can see how, you know, sensitive the microphone is. It's a really nice mic. I'm very, very impressed with it. So thank you, Movo, for sending this out. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to use this microphone. I'll probably end up using this to test out miking up guitar amps. I think that would be really fun to do. I didn't want to do it in this video. I kind of just want to give you a general overview if you are looking at one of these, because that's primarily my content is music and all that kind of stuff, but I do a lot of talking and voiceovers and things, so a good quality microphone is good for that. So go ahead and leave me comments about how much I talked in this and how much I love the sound of my own voice, because I dare demo my phone's going off, demo a microphone for you guys. But I really enjoy it. I love it. I think you will too. Again, there are links down there in the description. Make sure you go check it out. Check out the Movo Phantom interface, the X1 Mini, the UM6. All the Movo stuff that I've gotten so far is great. Thank you again, Movo. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.